It's reminded me a lot of the next web. So if you actually can't make it to Defrag 12 months from now and you're jonesing really hard, in 6 months, just go to Amsterdam and see the next web. And it's a similar crowd, similar energy. And I believe they're also sponsoring Defrag as well. In any case, I was asked at the last minute to, or what I perceived as the last minute, to speak on the Synaptic web. And so we quickly threw these slides together, and I hope they gel more or less together. Some of my co-collaborators are Eric Lance and Khris Loux, who is our VP of Strategy and also the co-founder of the Data Portability Working Group, who you may be familiar with. In any case, I'm Khris Loux, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of JSKit, and we're the creators of Echo, which is a next-generation commenting service that you may have seen rummaging around on the web. But prior to creating Echo, we wanted to step back and just understand where was the product going to get born into? Where was it going to go? And then we would start coding. And so we started making some notions on what the web might turn into. And I think this is a great exercise for anyone to go through that's about to develop a product or launch a big brand or website. It's not so much that you're going to get it right, it's that if you only look at what's happening today, you're necessarily going to get it wrong. And obviously, if you shoot too far in the future, you better raise an enormous amount of money so that you can get there. And so this product, Echo, was born from the thinking on the Synaptic web. And I'll present some of it now, but it really is a story that ends with you. So if are there mics that can be kind of portable that we can shove around the room, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll introduce the concept, and then you guys can finish it for me. For those that absorb data by reading it, or that have like triple ADD or something and need to get to the answer, just go to the website and you can read it while I'm talking. Let me just pass this. There you go. As we all know, the brain is comprised of neurons, and these neurons are connected via synapses, right? These are the connective tissue. And you could look at intelligence as the number of neurons, but more profoundly, intelligence is a function of the density and the flexibility of the connections between the neurons. Right? It's how many of those connections are happening. I need one of those remote things. So the synaptic web presupposes that while the nodes themselves, whether the node is a web page or a person or a piece of data or what have you, while those bits are important, it's the traffic flows between them that are even more important. So if there's a takeaway, you want to put it in your pocket and leave the room and go get coffee now, it's this. Certainly continue to look at the nodes on the web, but also start analyzing the patterns that flow into and between these nodes. So the equivalent of a neuron on the web is the web page, right? This is this block that we create and we put links in it and so on and so forth. And if we look at the total number of connections that are possible, we have to look at the web page and then how many links that have been put between them. And our observation is that we're on the verge of and are entering into an enormous increase in density, right? The page used to have content and a few hard, static, fixed links between several objects. We're now moving to a position where the web page itself is being assembled with hundreds, if not thousands, of links, feeds, real-time streams, and embedded applications, right, or widgets. And being a widget guy, everything always winds up being a widget is the answer to the question. So some of the connections that are changing, obviously, we can just skip through these. I love the guy's socks on this thing. The past metaphor was email, you pay full attention, right? Now in this new synaptic web, you pay partial attention, right? It's a stream of data coming through. There are new types of connections. What was a web page with links is now becoming augmented reality, right? This tiny little web page here has got the person's location, it knows where their friends are, it knows where this guy is trying to get to, etc. This is an amazingly different type of application than a pure static web page ever was. And there are certainly more vantage points or more connections. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen this. You go real estate shopping or what have you, and you see this panoramic thing, which always makes me nauseous watching it. I don't know why, it just does. But what is this evolving to is, where's Crowdsource guy? I mean, this is his story manifold, right? Microsoft has this product or technology called PhotoSynth, and it's freaky cool, right? It goes and collects all of the images and assembles them together to create a crowdsourced image. And I saw another example of this recently. It was, I forget the team, but you could Google search it, etc. It was a photo of the Roman Colosseum created by photos on Flickr that were tagged that way. And so there was like a jillion of these photos, and it built the thing. And that's this difference, right? Instead of drawing from some guy that showed up and did a little panoramic, the reality is being drawn from thousands of points of reference. And if nothing, the synaptic web, in our opinion, is an organic process. In other words, the web itself is growing. It's adding connections or it's pruning those connections as a result of use, right? So when you like something, or you visit a page, or you buy something, or you comment on it, or you flag it, or you share it, those are the equivalents of synaptic firings, right? Each one of those bits of data is a firing element, and those firing elements create patterns, and those patterns create meaning. And so whether you tune in like you do with email, or you tune out like you do with Twitter, it really doesn't matter. Because if the information is important for you, it will find you, right? Consider the notion of a tweet. I get tweeted, Defrag, awesome conference. I probably miss it, right? But if friend after friend, wave after wave, firing after firing, defrag, 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 I will see that message. I don't have to go dig through my email to find what's important. I don't need to search on the web. What's really cool today, out on the web? It will come to me, right? Through my self-selected filters. And that dramatically changes notions like search, right? It switches around. It's now filter.